Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the final race of the day here at the Nürburgring. It is indeed the Lotus Cup Europe Championship. It is race number 1 of their weekend. They are qualifying just this morning, and as you can see, it was Tamas Vizin, who's on the left-hand side of your screen, who took P1. Tamas Vizin is the current champion. He took P1 for both races last time out at Zolder 2 weeks ago, but Bence Ballo managed on both attempts to get him on the final lap both times and win the race. So I'm expecting there to be fireworks here once again, as Bence Ballo will start from second on the grid. But yeah, always proves to be a pretty exciting race, does the Porsche Lotus Cup Europe, that's for sure. As you can see, they're all now making their way to the grid. So we've got 2 races for you this weekend. Qualifying is already done. Grid will be the same tomorrow as it is today. It should be relatively exciting times. So they're all just finding their grid slot. Then they'll do their final checks, and then we should be ready to rock and roll in around about 9 minutes. Here is your pole sitter then. He was a full second behind. Didn't look like anyone was going to take Bence Ballo on today, and then suddenly with, 30 seconds to go, he put himself up onto pole position. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, should I say, didn't do a lot wrong as Zolder. Didn't do a lot wrong at all, but Bence Ballo was just in the form of his life, and ultimately, it is them two at the front end again. Here is Bence Ballo. He is in second position in the 95 Lotus. The Hungarian. It is a Hungarian front row. Bence Ballo, of course, double champion in 2018 and 2019. Last season wasn't able to take part due to COVID, and Tamas Vizin took the title. So there's a little bit of... yeah, there's a little bit of a rivalry there between the two, that is for sure. Verheest, starting then in P3. And then we've got Palmer. Daniel Palmer, the Swede. He is starting in P4. Showed some really good pace over the last few weeks. Paul Marichal then, teammate of Verheest. He is in the number 52. He's got the yellow stripe down the middle. Say orange stripe down the middle for Verheest. And then there's Nikolai Ibsen as well. Now there is Verheest. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Ibsen was a little bit further up the grid. So it is Ibsen starts third. But they're all very, very close at the front end. Next up then, what a view this is, by the way. Sven Pettersson in the number 88. Second Swede on the grid. We'll start in 7th position. In 8th then, the very fruity livery, gold and purple, Jason McNulty. Rainer Borgens, the German, in the number 55, will start in 9th position on the 5th row of the grid. He looks very happy indeed. Not really sure where to look though, is he? Jean-Pierre Jenaud-Prachet in the number 79. A little bit drier than last time out. It looked like he was in a kayak when we were at Zolder for race 2. It's nice and dry here today, although it does say it's going to rain tomorrow. I think the weather forecast is set to be raining all day, so that's going to make things very interesting. So, well, since I've been commentating on DTM support series, we've never had a day where it's just rained constantly all day, so that's going to be very interesting tomorrow. Georgi Ballo, another Hungarian, down in 11th position. It's a thumbs up. Excited to get ready and rocking, for sure. Francois de Witter, how this man has got the car onto the grid is absolutely mind-blowing. This morning had a prang and it ripped the whole rear of the car off. The rear wing popped off, everything. And fair play, managed to get himself onto the grid. That is the most remarkable thing of the weekend, to be honest. And we need an editor. What we need is the incident from this morning and then me commentating over the top saying, oh, what a remarkable turnaround. Because, yeah, unless you see the actual damage, you'll never believe it. They realise they're on the big screen. That is a very pink blouse. Dressed to impress, for sure. So as we look at the grid from the rear view, we can see all of them there. And the heat haze as well. Very warm here. It's been beautiful weather today. As he's waiting to hold the sign up. He's waiting for the okay. I'm sure he's excited. He can't wait, can he? You can just see he's just waiting. Like, oh, come on, I really want to do this. There's two of them as well. It's his turn. 1 minute to go. He did that so well. The lights turned on in the pace car as well. And really, he's only ever practicing for the 30-second mark. Gets to have another go now, though. Good conviction with his board waving. Going to give him a 7 out of 10 for the 1 minute board. But now it's all about your conviction for the 30-second board. We're not going to see it, unfortunately. There's David McNulty, purple and gold. Whereas Jason McNulty's in the gold and purple. Your time to shine when they come around towards the final chicane to grid up. So here we go then, ladies and gentle cars. It is time for the Lotus Cup Europe race, number 1 of the weekend. It's going to be nice and dry weather here. Can Tamas Vizin get one over his fellow Hungarian? There he is, Bence Bello. Managed to get the lead on the final lap in the previous 2 rounds of this championship. Is he going to be able to do the same again today? Seems to love qualifying second and going out and winning races. I think we're in for a bit of a grandstand race here today. I would like to think so. Welcome if you are watching for the first time. This is the Lotus Cup Europe. Make sure that you do indeed subscribe to the channel. And that way, you'll get notified as to when we are live with some racing action. Oh, they realise. They realise. That's it. Wave, get the camera out. Mum! Mum! I'm on the big screen. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to take a picture of it. You're taking a picture of you taking a picture. Inception. Love it. Just got to make sure he gets the right shot. So here we are then, halfway through our formation lap before we start today's race. So the track's going to be the most rubbered in state it has been all weekend as well. We've had so much action today. 5 different classes of car, qualifying and race for all of them. Plus we've had some drifting on circuit today as well. And we've had the disco van. Another couple then. There we go. They're very happy. Yeah. Oh, hey! There's a kiss cam. Love it. Input some sax music in the background. Bit of Careless Whisper. There we go again. Ah. Time to grid up then. We've had all the fun and the frolics from the crowd. Now it's time for some racing action. Who's going to come out on top then? Obviously the 2 favourites are P1 and P2. Can Vizin hold on? Well, they've seen another couple kiss, and now the pressure's on. The pressure's on. No. He declined. No. Unbelievable. Into the final corner we come then. And it is Tamas Vizin, the Hungarian in the number 1 car. Current champion, of course, from last season. And then the 2 time champion from the 2 seasons before that is Bence Ballo, which will be on, well, left-hand side of our screen now, but as we will look at them come across the line, it'll be the right-hand side of your screen, and the green lights are indeed there, and we are green light racing down towards turn number 1. We know that Tamas Vizin's car is a little bit quicker in a straight line, but Daniel Palmer, well, out of absolutely nowhere here, is throwing a spanner in the works. Late on the brakes then for the Swede. Tamas Vizin's gone very late on the brakes. He's going to end up going very deep here. I think Palmer may have an opportunity. McNulty then, David McNulty is actually moving up the order here, and well, it's actually up into P4. What a start it is then from McNulty. A great drive thus far. Up into P4, nice stuff. Didn't see that coming, and Bence Ballo then putting himself under a little bit of pressure here. Vizin able to just drive away. This is his opportunity now, just get away, drive away. Daniel Palmer out of absolutely nowhere. He's just sent it, hasn't he? So Jason McNulty, should I say? I get confused with them. They've got basically the same looking car, but it's inverted, the colours. Vizin then leads the way. Palmer did get up into P2. Look at this. So this is a very interesting development here. Off the line, super, super quick. Then Bence Ballo, then a double winner at Zolder, I would say has to get ahead here as soon as he possibly can. Again, it's a 30-minute long race, but you let Tamas Vizin have a little bit of leeway here. He's taken every opportunity possible for him. Again. Oh, big mistake by Tamas! So he's just made an unforced error. He's going to take the other chicane there. I'm not too sure whether he may be indeed told to slow down. Obviously, he was in P1. He's maintained P1. Daniel Palmer taking a nice wide entry through the final corner, but Vizin then definitely struggling on the brakes. It's a different kind of pressure, really, isn't it? Like when you've got your championship rival right behind you, of course, you know you've got to nail the braking zone. But when you start to relax and you think, oh, I've got a little bit of a gap here, it's even more so. The pressure can build because you know when you relax, that's when mistakes happen. Again, Vizin just doesn't look like he's ever going to get into the apex of that first corner, but he does. And fun fact, last season there was a massive smash in turn 1 of race number 1 for the Lotus Cup Europe. I wasn't commentating on it, I actually watched it though. And yeah, it was a massive smash here. So the fact that they've got through lap number 1 as it stands is relatively good. Lovely camera shots here, by the way. As again, we're on board then with Vizin. He is in the lead. Palmer under all sorts of pressure here from Ballo. I think we're potentially going to see a change for P2. And there you go. Just gets squared up, doesn't he? He's not slowed down enough, basically. And if he keeps turning the wheel left, he's just going to spin the car, for sure. So here we go. Bence Ballo very close then to Palmer. Can he potentially make a move? Or is Palmer going to be able to hold on to P2? Big mistake here at the start of this race for Bence Ballo. Big opportunity for Tamas Vizin. Now 2.3 seconds in the lead. And well, you can see then that Bence has got a hell of an exit here onto the back straight. I think, though, that Palmer's car may be a little bit quicker, a little bit nippier in a straight line. So it's all about making sure that you're very, very close and try and get the job done under braking. He's gone very late on the brakes there, trying to force a mistake from Palmer. And you can see that if he can get maybe within maybe a car's width more, a car's length more, should I say, closer, then there's every reason to suggest that he could outbrake him. Got to set yourself up, got to get good exits here. So Bence Ballo definitely struggling with the straight line speed. You've got to try and use the slipstream in front and just try and maintain as close as you possibly can. And this is maybe the opportunity here. It's a long braking zone. Palmer goes defensive. He knows exactly what Bence Ballo is going to try and do. Bence is going to try and go around the outside and not quite close enough to take full advantage here. It's very nippy through these corners. The door's open. Is he going to be able to put his nose up the inside? He's not. So Palmer lives to fight one more day. 3.1 seconds now, the advantage for Vizin. He's been able to drive away. And is there the door open for him? Once again, it's not. So Bence Ballo has a little nibble. But ultimately, the door gets closed. He has to get on the brakes a little bit harsher. They're going to lose more time. So through, down in towards turn number 5 they come. Ballo, once again, just having a little snifter of an opportunity. Not quite close enough once again. And this time, can Palmer just keep his composure right now? That's what it's all about, keeping his composure. Again, he knows his car's a little bit quicker in a straight line, but it's not as nimble through the corners for sure. And Ballo just needs to be as close as possible onto the long straights before the big braking zone. So into the final chicane and into turn number 1. And as you can see, he's probably the same sort of distance as he was previously coming up towards this corner. So we know that it's just going to stretch out. He's not going to be able to make the move, I don't think. If he does, it's going to be a brave one for sure. And he does go for it. No, he doesn't. He backs out. Backs out at the last second. By the way, Jason McNulty is now starting to close these two in. He's got some serious pace today. Maybe looking to battle for a podium. 4 seconds now the lead for Vizin. Verheest is in P5. We've got Sven Pettersson, Ipsen in P7. And then Jean-Pierre Genot-Prachet is doing very well in the open top car. Again, you can see how much Benz is able to close in, but he's missed his braking point this time. But as you can see, the tyre marks there around the outside, you don't lose too much time. There are multiple different lines that you can take. But the longer this goes on, this is perfect for Vizin. He'll be looking in his rearview mirror and they'll be disappearing, but ultimately he'll know that that bright yellow car is still ahead, which is perfect for him. Here we go, we do get to see the race start. And what on earth happened to Ballo then? He just gets caught napping really. The lights go green, everyone checks up there. Palmer's just like, yeah, I'm off. Moves over. Jason McNulty starts the best out of everybody's though. He's come from absolutely miles back to be battling for a podium. And he actually looked to try and get up to P2. Went round the outside, and ultimately that's what's cost him the position on Benz Ballo, to be fair. Ballo slides it in. And this is still the battle then for what is effectively P2. And I think then, for the first time here, Ballo may have a little go up and towards the chicane. Again, no, maybe not quite close enough. Trying to stay off the curb there on the entrance, wants to try and minimise any potential loss of speed. He goes late up the inside. Oh, there's a spin. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That is not good. So unfortunately then, Francois de Witter, who's, there you go, you see the rear of the car, what damage it received earlier. So the fact that that car is even in the race is quite remarkable. But I think we may have just seen a change for P2 as the leaders are now, is that the leader coming through? Oh, there is a, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, Natalie Genot-Prachet and indeed Francois de Witter coming together there. And for me, looks like Natalie had all of the room to work with on the inside and Francois de Witter just closed that door. Again, sitting quite low in the car, so it's very difficult. And actually, Daniel Palmer held on. So it looked like Bentz was going to make the move, not able to do so. And he's held on. Now, 5.2 seconds is the lead here. Tamas Vizin is an absolute dreamland. This is perfect scenario for him. Still 22 minutes, 40 seconds to go, so he won't count all his chickens at once, but he's in a great spot right now. Look at Jason McNulty. He's not far off these drivers at all. So the front four battling very, very nicely indeed. As you can see, he's just opening up that right-hander just a little bit better than Palmer. Of course, Palmer wants to try and keep the inside line clear. Well, he wants to stay on the inside line, doesn't want to give an opportunity for anyone to send one up the inside. Nikolai Ipsen then P7. Good to see him back. Driving on one of Verheest's cars. He's got 3 on the grid. Although it looks like he might also look after Francois de Witter's car as well. It's a nice little battle at the back here. As we see some flames coming out of the car. The inner 10-year-old in me is enjoying the flames. So Palmer then, not taking a very good line through turn number 1 there. You see the rear just stepping out on trying to get onto the power. Jean-Pierre Genot-Prachet is doing a very, very nice job here, mixing it with the production class, mixing it with the V6 class. That's Marichal in the number 52, the Dutchie. And look how smiley these cars look. From a distance, they all just look like they're happy cars, just all smiling. It's very similar to Ginetto's, the front of these cars. As that is a lunge, by the way. Wow. He's got it stopped as well. That is a hell of a lunge there from Toby Goodman. Gets it stuck and we're moving on. And that was 4th position. Fair play. Oh, I think McNulty David McNulty might be in a bit of trouble here. So here's Natalie Genot-Prachet coming through the corner where she was turned in on. And having a relatively good day indeed. Currently in P14. For the number 14 car. Such a unique looking car, aren't they? A very unique looking car. So we go a little bit further back. Get the state of the rear of that car. The back of the car basically exploded earlier. After hitting the rear. First season. It's one way of learning, I guess. But yeah, it was a big hit. Just getting thankful that the drivers are okay, but also that we're able to see them race. As we're about to see a potential move here. And the move sticks on Dave Carr. So 85 just up ahead a little bit. So that was, I wouldn't say, that was a lap down, I think. So coming back through the pack, I guess. It's number 85 then under pressure from the number 34 of Mick Edwards. Daniel Palmer still holding on to this position, by the way, P2. Vizin now 7 seconds in the lead. And Palmer now holding up Bent so much so that Jason McNulty really is in the hunt now for a podium. I'm wondering if Ballo is going to start to get a little bit frustrated, of course, used to winning races, not used to being stuck behind people. Well, I say he's not used to being stuck behind people. He was stuck behind Tamas Vizin both races last time out, won at the final lap of Askin, both times. So I guess he's got the experience to lean on if it needs be. But as it stands, then 18 minutes to go. Vizin still leading, Palmer second. Bent Ballo third. We then got Jason McNulty in P4. Verheest, Ibsen, Sven Pettersson. And then we have got in P8 Jean-Pierre Genot-Pache, and the number 7 is into the pits then. So David McNulty, the car not in great shape, unfortunately for him. Marichal P9. And then we've got Bourne in P10, Moritz. Double duty this weekend. There's Nikolai Ibsen in the number 99, a Danish driver. First ever Danish driver to win a race in this championship. Nonetheless, probably not going to win one today. Currently in P6, keeping everyone very honest. So is this finally the opportunity where the move's going to be made? Again, the cars are just so different. One's so quick through corners, which is the car behind, and the other one's just so quick in a straight line. A late lunge here, potentially. And again, not quite close enough. What he's trying to do there, basically, is it's never really on. It's not an overtake that's on, but what he's trying to do is force Daniel Palmer to run a little bit wide. If he runs a little bit wide on entry of the corner, that means he's going to get stuck on the apex, and that means then he is going to struggle on the exit and then make a move into the final corner. He's just not really quite close enough to do so here, and, well, Palmer is just holding very, very firm. Jason McNulty, though, is definitely closing in now. And with a bit of slipstream to work with, he is going to be in dreamland very, very shortly. Again, they're both closing up here. You see the difference under braking. The number 95 is just so much better, but in a straight line, Palmer's car is better as well. So this is the first sector here, and I think this might be the opportunity for Bent Ballo to make. Late one up the inside. Oh, there's almost contact between the two. A late shut of the door there by Palmer, but this is perfect now for Jason McNulty, and all of a sudden we've got ourselves a potential three-way battle for P2, but then you've got indeed Verheest's cars coming through, Verheest himself and Ibsen both looking to get on the back of this train of cars. But as it stands then, Palmer is doing everything in his power right now to just hold on to this position, and he's doing a very successful job of it as it stands. Vizin, though, off into the lead now. 8 seconds for him. We're just about coming to the halfway point of this race, and it's looking very strong indeed. So Toby Goodman, currently in P16 in that number 85. Was looking really, really quick earlier on. Just dropped off ever so slightly. Mick Edwards, just in behind in the number 34. He was, again, looking to pressurise the 85 on a previous lap, but Seems to have just dropped off ever so slightly. So both running wide and out of turn 1. It's kind of a normal line for everybody at this stage. You'll find that as the weekend goes on, drivers are running wider and wider and wider until they get told, nope, that's naughty, here's a penalty. But until they get told that they will take liberties all they like. So nice to give everybody a bit of camera time. So it looks like we've got 20 drivers still here. And they've got a back marker to deal with, which they have duly just delivered. As we come through turn number 2 once again, Daniel Palmer has indeed held on. Is Ballo going to be able to dive one up the inside this time? No, he's not. He's going to go out wide and try and open up the corner a little bit better. Hope that Palmer runs a little bit wide. And he has ever so slightly, but now can he set it up through the right-hander? And try and get on the power really early, and then try and outbrake him down in towards this right-hander. Again, not quite close enough, and he's just trying in different parts of the track now. This is really interesting from Bence Ballo's perspective. Really interesting here. So he's just tried around every part of the circuit at this stage. But all of a sudden, McNulty comes in. He's going to have nothing to lose as well. He'll want to get proper spicy and involved in this for sure. But even though these two are battling for position, maybe he just doesn't have the outright pace. I think he could probably, very similar to what Palmer's doing, if McNulty could get ahead, he could probably hold them up. But I just don't think he's going to have quite the pace to overtake. So again, towards that final chicane, it's Tamas Visny who's just indeed gone through that final chicane. Coming through the final corner now. Palmer, Bence Ballo is still. It's a proper stalemate right now. But this again is just giving the opportunity for Visage to drive away. So you can see that Ballo there is going to definitely miss his braking point here. Losing a little bit of time. And normally he's able to get quite close through here and potentially make a move down in towards turn 3. That is not going to be the case this time. So again, he's going to have to try and go out nice and wide. Just try and open up the corner a little bit better than Palmer. Palmer again going defensive. Don't think he needed to do that time. I think for the first time there he could have just maximised his corner exit speed, but he hasn't. And look at this. Bence Ballo then carves through that corner nice and quickly. As you can see, a big screen with this action on the screen as we see it on our own television screens. Ballo runs a little bit wide once again. He's going to try and cut it back in though. But once again, Daniel Palmer holds firm. He's trying to force a mistake there by just getting into the mirrors, but ultimately the only person that's costing time is to himself. And that is, yeah. David McNulty's race is over. And there's a spin. Oh dear. There's a spin there for Kai Lehman. Was it the back end? Was it P20? That's still in P20 as it stands. Bence Ballo finally has the opportunity. He is up the inside, but the door's closed once again. And Daniel Palmer, you've got to respect Bence Ballo. He probably could have sent it and it would have been contact for sure. But he has just left enough in the tank in terms of braking to be able to back out of the situation if the door's closed. Palmer, by the way, no holds barred right now. He is trying to hold on to this P2 with every part of his being. The lights being flashed there by Bence Ballo. Again, I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive, really. I think he has to proper send it down in towards turn number 1. See, again, look how much later the Hungarian can get on the brakes. Look at Jason McNulty, and he's got the inside line, he's got the overlap. So finally, Bence Ballo's got the overlap here. Oh, it's well executed, it's perfectly done. And well, ultimately, job nailed. So Bence Ballo then does finally get that position. It's the only time he hadn't, or the only position on track he hadn't tried doing it yet by going around the outside under braking. And ultimately, he finally went very, very late on the brakes and got the position. And look at this then. Palmer is being ghosted here for sure because he's already into clutches now of potentially Jason McNulty. So through the right-hander they come. And I've got a funny suspicion that the McNulty's car is very similar to Palmer's, so in terms of straight line speed, if he can get a good exit, I think it actually might be a little bit easier. So here's the move. Look how far back he is. You've got to be brave, and then you've just got to maximise your exit speed here, because obviously you've got the outside line, you're travelling a further distance. And there we go. Perfectly executed move. The 3 best moves I've seen in the last 3 races have all come from Ben Ballo. He's been absolutely exceptional, although it's not over yet. It is not over yet. And, well, Daniel Palmer is back up into the lead. He's got the quicker car in a straight line, of course, as well. Into the slipstream we'll go for Ben Ballo. He's going to probably try and do exactly the same once again, but he might get boxed out here. Look at McNulty. Look at the pace advantage here. How late can he go on the brakes? So, yeah, I don't think Ben Ballo is going to be able to make the move here, just for the simple fact is he's got to defend the position from behind. He can't. Palmer back up to P2, and all of a sudden then you've got now in behind them Verheest and indeed Ibsen. They've got a back marker here that's going to hold them up for sure. So this is now obviously not ideal at this situation. He's going to let 3 cars go through, I think. Yes, he is. So 3 of them have come through. Verheest then and Ibsen are the next 2, and all of a sudden we've got a 5-way battle with 9 minutes to go here for P2. Ben Ballo, oh, it's a brilliant exit though. Down in towards the right-hander again. Palmer is not going to be able to cover it off for sure. And up the inside, there's almost contact between the 2. Palmer runs out wide, he just loses the car, just about gets it back in check. McNulty then drag racing in to try and hold on to a potential, or try and grab a potential podium. Palmer though does indeed hold on, runs out of road though. McNulty up the inside, almost contact between them again. How none of them have come to blows is quite beyond me at this stage, and all of a sudden then McNulty does get up into P3. Palmer, wow, what a couple of laps has been for him. He lost to P2, got back up to P2, and now all of a sudden down to P4. Ben Ballo's the real winner of this situation because he is just absolutely flying up the road here, although he's going to get held up by the 34, and that is Mick Edwards. So there's going to, unless Mick gets out of the way around the final corner, I suggest that they're all going to close up here very, very closely indeed. And Mick does not get out of the way then. So they are all closing up there. McNulty goes defensive into the final corner. Ben Ballo has got ahead here. And let's check out this exchange then. So you can see then that Bence makes a late move up the inside. Palmer tries to turn in, and then he realizes, nope, there's a car there. Loses the rear, of course, goes off camber because of how wide the corner is. Manages to then rectify his mistake, but it's a little bit too late. As McNulty then, of course, has the outside line for the next left-hander. It's all about his bravery, really. And then you can see that Palmer, all he had to do really was hold the apex, ran a little bit wide, and made it very easy for McNulty. McNulty then just opens up the right-hander, turns in maybe a touch earlier just in case there was a dive incoming, and ultimately holds on to the position. And as we come down in towards turn number 1 here, you can see that there was a very, very late dive there by Palmer. McNulty does indeed hold on. And it says that so that replay, that is actually happening while we have the replay, so that's why we're seeing another replay. Palmer again, he wants that podium. He's going to be furious with himself, the fact that he's lost a potential podium here, as they've got a back marker now. So number 85, Toby Goodman, I believe it is. Yeah, Toby Goodman. So this part of the circuit's flat out now. Goodman will just let off the gas ever so slightly. And now we know exactly how fast Palmer's car is in a straight line. Is it going to be able to close up? I don't think it is. Thierry Verheest now flashing his lights. I think he senses there's a potential podium. Ibsen as well. So these two, if they do start fighting, if Palmer can indeed start slowing down McNulty, we are going to see that 4-way battle for the final podium spot. All of us forgetting that Tamas Vizin is in this race. He's 12.1 seconds in the lead. Qualified pole by a couple of hundredths of a second. It was a terrible start by Ballo. You can see Ballo is so much faster. He's already gapping these. Look how far he is up the road now. He lost so much time behind them. And he's actually catching up to Vizin. But it's a little too late. And are we going to see one of the McNultys finally get a podium while I've commentated? David and indeed Jason are both legends of the Lotus Cup Europe, but I've never seen them on the podium. I'm obviously relatively new to this. There's a late dive by Palmer, and he has to back out there. The room was left out ultimately, but they both lose a lot of time. There's Vizin still coming through the pack, still lapping cars. It's been a relatively straightforward race today. All the hard work was done in qualifying. Qualifying, he only just managed to get onto pole. Like I said, by a couple of hundredths. He was a full second behind for about 23 minutes, and then in the final 2 minutes, he managed to get himself up onto that front row. So, yeah, massive props to him. Ben Ballo hasn't looked back, has he? As soon as he gets up into that position, he's not looked back. And, well, Jason McNulty has defended valiantly here and actually got himself a gap two in behind him. Daniel Palmer. And now look at this then, Verheest and Ibsen. They are close. They're looking for this opportunity. And I think at this stage of the race, they're probably going to end up battling each other. There's not going to be any such thing as two. But there we go. Palmer makes a big mistake there. That is exactly what Bence Ballo was trying to make him do for the entirety of their battle. He's trying to force him to go wide. As Ibsen then is going to make a move up the inside. Verhees then runs a little bit wide. And again, they are, of course, teammates. They've got very similar cars. So you've got to imagine they're going to be a little bit more timid with each other and a bit more respectful. But ultimately, Verhees holds on. I think if they were different team, if they were both in different teams, they're Ibsen sending out up the inside. If there's contact, there's contact. Down in towards turn number 1 they come. Look how late on the brakes they can go. Verhees, though, makes a mistake. Ibsen not able to take advantage. Ultimately, Verhees just parks it on the apex, forcing no one to be able to make a move up the inside or indeed round the outside. Look at this, though. 2 seconds already gained by Bence Ballo on Vizin. So this bodes well for him tomorrow, although tomorrow is going to be completely different conditions, we believe. It is indeed going to be raining tomorrow. Yeah, I think we're going to have some rain tomorrow. Apparently all day. Again, I'm from the UK, so me trying to predict weather is almost impossible. Probably more than impossible. We have weather change every couple of minutes here. Sometimes every couple of seconds. So really, at this stage, it is Vizin's race to lose. So it looks like they've got maybe 2 laps remaining. No, maybe 3, you know. It's probably going to be 3 laps. Vizin comes across the line now. It's going to be tight. It's going to be really tight, actually, as to whether it's going to be 3 laps or not. See them, McNulty maybe going to start to get a little bit nervous. Ibsen wants to get this position from Verhees, of course. This is for a top 4. Oh, no, sorry, for a top 5, isn't it, of course? I just keep forgetting that Vizin is in this race. So yeah, this is for a top 5 right now. Ibsen opens up the right-hander and nicely there, actually. Verhees did not do so much there. A late lunge at the inside potentially. He's not going to do it again. They are racing. It's good to see. No such thing as team orders right now. You think Verhees might go, well, what are you going to have a little attack at the front there? I think he realizes there's probably not enough time here, so it's all about trying to keep hold of his own position. Sven Pettersson is in P7, Marichal P8, Bourne P9. Jean-Pierre then finds himself in P10. And the lead open top as well. So it's going to be a victory for him. As Kai Lehman then is about to be lapped here by Mick Edwards, I think. Mick Edwards in that 34. So Lehman struggled for pace this weekend so far. Sure, he'll get better as of tomorrow. Everyone tends to get faster as the weekend goes on. Makes sense, doesn't it? We've got more practice. So as they come across the line, yeah, I think you'll find that we will have maybe one more lap right after this. Still the battle for P4 is going down. But we are going to see a Ballo and a McNulty on the podium. Those two names are synonymous with this championship. As much as Tamas Vizin. 50 seconds to go. So again, I feel like they're going to have one more lap remaining. So it would have come up last lap on my screen, to be fair. So for sure he's going to cross the line and have another little jaunt around the Nürburgring sprint. Hopefully you've all enjoyed this broadcast today. If you have, send me a message on Twitter at @AcTrollVision. If you've got any questions about the championship as well, more than happy to answer your questions. Always nice to be interactive with you lot as the audience. Put some pictures to names, faces to names. But yeah, hopefully you have indeed enjoyed the broadcast. Look at this. This is kind of, at this stage, Bence is realistically just trying to pile the pressure on now. Like, he'll know that Vizin's going to look at how far he was ahead during this race at what's, you know, at all stages, and realize that actually, if Bence gets a bit of clear air, he is definitely the quicker of the two. So it's all about now just putting pressure on in terms of mind games moving towards tomorrow. Vizin's not going to lose this race. You know, you'd have to be very unlucky at this stage of the race to lose it, but moving into tomorrow, Bence making sure that Vizin knows, I'm quicker than you, I'm coming for you tomorrow. That's really what he's got to all he's got to play for right now. But Tamas Vizin, you've got to respect it. He got pole position. He dug in deep in qualifying to get that lap time as well. And in the race, he's made no mistakes. Got off the line really quickly. He indeed took full advantage of the fact that Daniel Palmer got ahead of Bence Ballo, took in the best part of maybe 7 laps to finally get the move done. As we are back seeing a battle for position between the between the open top cars. And they've had contact already in this race. And it looks like they're giving each other a little bit of a wide berth there for sure. Tamas Vizin then coming up towards the final chicane. Last week out, qualified pole twice, but unfortunately was undone by the magician that is Bence Ballo twice. On the final lap of both races, it was quite the incredible battle between the two of them, but today's been a completely different story. He got out into the lead, he's taken full advantage of that lead, and he's not lost any time actually over the last couple of laps, so he is looking really quickly for the weekend. But race 1 in the Lotus Cup Europe here at the Nürburgring of 2 goes to Tamas Vizin. Great drive from him. Bence Ballo then does take P2, and he'd be relatively happy with that considering how the start went. It was a poor start. If he gets off the line well tomorrow, it'll be a completely different story. It is going to be P3 then for Jason McNulty. Daniel Palmer, who's P2 for the majority of this race, is going to finish then in P4. Verheest in P5, Ibsen P6, Sven Pettersson P7, Marichal in P8. We've got Bourne in P9, and then we've got Jean-Pierre Genot-Prache finishing in your top 10. Good drives from everybody. And wow, I think that was a pretty good race. Pretty good race indeed. So that's the final race of the day as well. And actually, tomorrow morning, there's been a time change. So if you're a fan of this series, there's been a slight time change for race number 2. It's going to be at 9 a.m. local time, so CEST. And in the UK, it's going to be 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. for the Lotus Cup Europe for the final race of the weekend. So make sure you get up early, get your coffee, get your cup of tea in you. And that way we will be able to watch some races. It's Bailey Edwards in the number 33. Father and son duo, Mick and Bailey. And across the line, they will come. Congratulations to all concerned. And there we go. Vizin's pretty happy with that. Fist pumped out of the car. Oh, he's excited. And fully deserves it. Taking full advantage of his pace in qualifying. There's the number 1. Of course, last season's champion, Bence Ballo's got a point to prove, as he wasn't in the championship last season, but won the previous 2 years. And Vizin, if he can go out and beat him, you know, it's just going to solidify his stance as the best Lotus driver in Europe. It's a fact. One very happy human there, for sure. So here we are then. The official results are Tamas Vizin picks up the win in a Hungarian 1-2. Bence Ballo second. McNulty and Palmer are 3rd and 4th. Verheest and Ibsen in 5th and 6th. Pettersson and Marichal in 7th and 8th. Bourgens and Genot-Prache are in 9th and 10th position. Jean-Pierre Genot-Prache. In the second 10 then it's Robin Nilsson and Bello, who take 11th and 12th. We've got Andrashek and De Witte in 13th and 14th. Natalie Janot-Prochet and Toby Goodman are in 15th and 16th. Mick Edwards and Bailey Edwards in 17th and 18th. Bashir and Lehman are in 19th and 20th spot. David McNulty, unfortunately, is a DNF today. But indeed, I think he'll be a little bit happy that his teammate and family member has indeed got the job done in terms of a podium. There's certainly one person that's happy today, and that is Tamas Vizin. You can tell someone's excited to get out of the car. Give me the champagne. Can't drink too much champagne though, because they're all on duty tomorrow morning, very early. He's happy. Brilliant stuff.
Thank you.
Das Ganze dreimal, jeweils für eine Klasse. And as we are ready, I say welcome on the podium on the third position of the first race of the Lotus Cup Euro. Clap your hands for the third place from Britain, Jason McNulty. Congratulations!
He is absolutely over the moon, love it. Buzzing.
On the second step of the podium, we got from Hungary, Benz Balog. Congratulations! And ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, Tamas Vizin. Congratulations, and now to honor you for your result today, here is the Hungarian national anthem. Congratulations to our top three on the podium. And now, raise your trophies to the air. That we have some photos to remember this great event here at Nürburgring race. At Nürburgring, DTM race at Nürburgring. Thanks a lot. And there are the trophies. And now, gentlemen, it's time to open the bottles. It's time for some champagne. Enjoy!
So there you have it. Jason McNulty picks up P3, and I tell you what, I think he was equally as happy as Tamas Vizin there with the result. Congratulations to him. We've got Benz Ballo, who is indeed going to finish in second position. Congratulations to him. He'll feel like he maybe could have gone out there and won it today, but Daniel Palmer driving the drive of his life, really. Is a phenomenal drive. But this man here, Tamas Vizin, congratulations to him. He is the winner, and well, he rights the wrongs from last time out. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is the final race of the weekend for these, but it's early in the morning, so make sure that you are here at 9 a.m. CEST, and in UK time, it is 8 a.m. See you then.